Ladies and gentlemen, underestimating an opponent is often more dangerous than overestimating them, because when you underestimate someone, you don't prepare your mind, your heart, or your resources for what they are truly capable of becoming. You relax when you should be alert. You assume when you should be studying. You dismiss when you should be listening. And history, life, and experience all show us the same brutal truth. What you underestimate today can overwhelm you tomorrow. You see, underestimation is not just a strategic error. It is a mindset. It is a quiet arrogance that whispers, "They don't have what it takes." It is the comfort of believing that someone else lacks the strength, discipline, or courage to rise when pressure comes. And that mindset has destroyed empires, careers, relationships, and dreams. When people underestimate others, they are usually projecting their own limits onto the world. They look at surface appearances and confuse hesitation with fear. They see debate and call it weakness. They see patience and mistake it for indecision. They see restraint and assume a lack of will. But restraint is often the sign of deep strength. Patience is often the mark of someone choosing the right moment, and silence can be preparation, not surrender. History has shown us again and again that the most dangerous opponent is not the loud one making threats, but the quiet one who is learning, building, and preparing. The one who takes a hit, absorbs it, studies it, and comes back stronger. The one who may step back, not because they are afraid, but because they are calculating their next move. Underestimation creates blind spots, and blind spots are where disasters are born. When you underestimate an opponent, you fail to see their capacity for growth. You assume that what they are today is all they will ever be. You judge them by their past instead of their potential. But human beings, nations, and organizations are not static. They evolve under pressure. They adapt when challenged. They transform when pushed to the edge. Pressure does not always break people. Sometimes it forges them. Some individuals don't discover their true power until they are tested. Some nations don't reveal their unity until they are attacked. Some organizations don't find their brilliance until survival is on the line. When you underestimate someone, you forget that adversity can awaken abilities that comfort never reveals. And that is where the danger lies. Overestimating an opponent might make you cautious. It might make you prepare more than necessary. It might cost you time or resources. But underestimating an opponent robs you of humility. It makes you careless. It convinces you that victory is guaranteed before the contest even begins. And when reality hits, it hits hard, fast, and without mercy. Underestimation feeds complacency. Complacency says we don't need to improve. Complacency says what we have is enough. Complacency says they won't push back. And complacency is the silent killer of success. The moment you believe someone cannot rise to the occasion is the moment you stop rising yourself. You stop sharpening your skills. You stop questioning your assumptions. You stop preparing for resistance. And while you are standing still, believing you have already won, the other side may be accelerating, learning, and strengthening. One of the most dangerous things you can ever say is, "They don't have the stomach for this," because you never truly know what someone has the stomach for until their survival, dignity, or future is threatened. People will endure things you never imagined when the alternative is loss, humiliation, or extinction. They will sacrifice comfort for purpose. They will trade ease for endurance. They will give up today to secure tomorrow. Underestimation also blinds you to values. When you look at someone else's system, culture, or way of life and judge it by your own standards, you miss what truly motivates them. You may see disagreement, but they see freedom. You may see debate, but they see accountability. You may see hesitation, but they see deliberation. And once that deliberation ends, the response can be overwhelming. Never mistake discussion for indecision. Never mistake freedom for fragility. Never mistake patience for passivity. Another danger of underestimation is that it creates false confidence. It makes leaders reckless. It pushes decision makers towards gambles instead of strategies. When you believe your opponent will collapse quickly, you plan for speed, not sustainability. You plan for shock, not endurance. You plan for fear, not resilience. And when shock fails, when fear turns into resolve, your entire strategy collapses. Underestimation also leads to moral miscalculation. When you believe someone will quit, you may take actions that harden their resolve instead of weakening it. You may think intimidation will silence them, only to discover it unifies them. You may think pain will discourage them, only to find it gives them purpose. There is a powerful truth in life. People will tolerate injustice, inconvenience, and discomfort for a long time, but once a line is crossed, once dignity is attacked, once identity is threatened, something changes. The switch flips, the hesitation ends, and what emerges is not weakness, but ferocity. Underestimating that moment is fatal. You see, resilience is often invisible until it is activated. Unity is often dormant until it is forced awake. Determination is often quiet until it is unleashed. And the ones who fail are usually those who believed none of that existed. Underestimation also reveals a deeper flaw, the refusal to listen. Warnings are often dismissed because they contradict what leaders want to believe. Evidence is ignored because it challenges comforting narratives. Voices of experience are silenced because they don't match the desired outcome. And when reality becomes inconvenient, it is pushed aside in favor of illusion. But reality does not negotiate with illusions. Reality arrives on its own terms, and when it does, it exposes every assumption, every shortcut, every lie we told ourselves to feel secure. And by the time reality arrives, it is often too late to adapt. The greatest tragedy is that underestimation is preventable. It can be avoided by humility. It can be corrected by curiosity. It can be defeated by preparation. Humility says, I may be wrong. Curiosity says, let me learn more. Preparation says, I will be ready either way. When you respect your opponent, not fear them, but respect them, you sharpen yourself, you question your plans, you test your assumptions, you strengthen your weaknesses, and even if conflict comes, you are not surprised by resistance because you expected it. Underestimation, on the other hand, leaves you shocked when resistance appears. It leaves you scrambling when plans fail. It leaves you blaming others when outcomes turn disastrous. And here's the deeper lesson, not just for history, but for life. People underestimate others every day. They underestimate coworkers who are quiet. They underestimate competitors who move slowly. They underestimate nations, communities, and individuals who don't look powerful on the surface. And sometimes people underestimate you. They look at your background and assume your limits. They look at your silence and assume weakness. They look at your patience and assume fear. But the truth is, being underestimated can be a gift. When no one expects much from you, you are free to prepare in silence. You are free to grow without pressure. You are free to learn without being watched. And when the moment comes, when the test arrives, when the challenge demands everything you have, you can rise with a force that surprises everyone, including yourself. The danger is not being underestimated. The danger is underestimating others, because underestimation breeds arrogance, and arrogance blinds judgment, and blind judgment leads to irreversible mistakes. So the lesson is clear. Never assume that comfort equals weakness. Never assume that debate equals division. Never assume that patience equals fear. Never assume that silence equals surrender. Respect capacity. Study resilience. Prepare for endurance. Because the opponent you dismiss today may be the force that defines your tomorrow. And the greatest victories, whether in war, leadership, or life, belong not to those who assume, but to those who prepare. Thank you.